Welcome to Celebrating Act Two. Celebrating Act Two is the user manual for the second half of your life.
Hello, John. How you doing today?
Art, it's good to see you on our weekly vlog for Celebrating Act Two. I am doing very well. In fact, I have some big news, but before I tell you my news, I want to ask you, how far out of the driveway have you gotten? Remember last week we talked about
Yeah,
leaving the driveway or getting out of the
yeah.
driveway and actually venturing forth into the real world?
And I in fact publicly outed myself at having gone out of the driveway and
Yes,
and
you
early
did.
and
That
late.
was very courageous, by the way.
It was. uh, well, actually, have gone a little further. Linda and I over the weekend, we were on a Sunday morning, and Linda said, "Where do you want to go today?" And I, of
Oh
course,
my
said,
God.
"Let's see, where haven't we shopped?"
Yeah,
But then I,
a new
but then I had
store. Yeah.
suggested a place that sort of met some of the criteria that made us feel comfortable, and a place we've gone dozens of times. We really enjoy going there. Is the to Dana Point and walk along where the boats are,
Sure.
and it's out
Beautiful,
in the fresh
beautiful place.
air. And so we got our masks and made sure we went to the bathroom sufficiently so that we didn't have to use public restrooms.
Right.
Less difficult for me, I have to admit.
Now, Dana Point is famous not only as a harbor, and so there's lots of boats there. It's very picturesque,
Yeah.
and there's some antique sailing ships and stuff. But it's also famous for restaurants. Did you go to a restaurant?
We did not. But,
Okay,
but,
but you walked down that esplanade by the water.
well, so we did, sort of.
Yeah,
We had our masks on, but we found that about 80% of the people were not wearing masks. And it wasn't just people on bikes or who were running, because I would say that 75, 80% of the people there, either if they're not stopping for coffee or breakfast or lunch, um, are walking just walking and strolling and getting some
sure.
exercise in. And it's a nice a mile or a mile and a half walk, our normal walk along there. And we started getting uncomfortable when there were just lots and lots of people without masks on. And we know why. I mean, just some weren't going to wear it anyway, but the Orange County Board of Supervisors has apparently decided that they would do away with masks as a requirement.
So, in other words, officially in Orange County, you're not required to wear a mask. So you should have expected, had you known that, you should have expected that 80% of the people would not be wearing masks.
Well,
No?
I thought otherwise. Quite frankly, that why would people think that there's no more risk, and they weren't going to wear masks? I mean, just
And the answer is,
because the
Art,
government
because
says so.
people follow the government. You and I, being libertarians and free thinkers, we might not think that, but most people are going to follow the government.
Yep. As a matter of fact, just as a note, I looked up before we started taping this, and the health commissioner in Orange County apparently quit because people were protesting at her house and threatening her because
Threatening
she
her
she
because,
wanted to continue the masks,
and
uh,
they didn't.
and they didn't. And she just and when the board of supervisors went ahead with that, as a medical professional, she just said, "No, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to risk my
Right.
life if you guys are not going to back me up." So
Sure. And the board went with the politics of the crowd.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that's happening all over the country. First of all over the country is a big word. I mean, obviously, if you're in a dense metropolitan area, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, they're different situations altogether. Even in Los Angeles, it's not the population isn't as dense as New York
No,
City,
but
but
here's the
Los
point.
Angeles has kept the rules up.
But right, because if and even if, let's say, you're walking along a trail and there's nobody else there, and you see some other people coming, if they're going to be within 6 feet of you and they're talking and they're jogging and maybe they're
Put your mask
put
up
your mask on. Uh,
and then take it down after they
but
pass
anyway,
by.
that's you and I. So, okay, so I've now, this is like show and tell. Okay, and we're a little risque here. So I went to Dana Point. You were threatening to actually go to even more densely
Oh,
populated concepts.
oh, I'm
Did you
I'm a
do
wild
anything
man.
wild and dangerous,
Oh,
or not dangerous, wild
somebody
over this
stopped
week?
me. I just went out to dinner. Really?
Dinner?
Di- Dinner at a restaurant? What?
You mean sit down with
We haven't
masks
done that
off?
since 1982. No.
Wow. Well, tell us about
Yeah.
it.
Well, the time was coming. Restaurants have been open now, quote, open for 3 weeks.
Sure.
The about 3 weeks. When they said, I think the rules were for restaurants, you could open the dining room. Prior to that, it was patio or takeout.
Right.
And now they said, well, you can open the dining room, but you can't have more than 25% capacity, something like that. And so the dining rooms were open, and that was good enough for me. I was just waiting for the opportunity. And we went out to dinner last night to a very nice local Italian restaurant. We hadn't been there before, but we it's came highly recommended. Had a great time, and maybe supported the local economy a little too much with cocktails and wine and appetizers. And as you get older, you kind of, if you don't, I've noticed that if you're older and you retired and you don't go to the, what do they call it, early bird dinner,
Mm.
something like that, to get the discount, then what a lot of people do is they have their cocktails at home and go out,
Oh.
or they don't have cocktails and appetizers. They keep the bill down by just having an entree.
So you're my
We didn't do that. We
you're my
went hard.
fashion forward adventurer here. Um, so my concern about eating out, even if it's outdoor, is that
Yeah.
there's a lot of surfaces, and that even if they give you plastic utensils and things like that, they wind up sitting on an exposed table and things like that. Were your servers all wearing masks?
No, they weren't. First of all, it's a mom and pop place. We have three Italian restaurants near us. I call it the Golden Triangle. And so we're between all these three very nice local mom and pop family run restaurants. There's Nucci's, there's Sorrento's, and then there's Uncle Tony's. And
All Italian. I didn't hear Chinese in any one of those.
there's a very nice Chinese place, but we didn't go there. We picked Uncle Tony's, and I think Uncle Tony was in the kitchen and Paulie was serving.
Paulie.
Paulie was serving. You know what? The Paulie was, and the food was delicious. The service is great. Very. It's what's great about it now. I would recommend everybody go out to dinner now, because Uncle Tony's is a very popular place, and there were like four tables in the dining room filled with people.
Mm.
We were one of them, and yet there's probably 20 tables. So think about this. After all these restrictions get lifted, those 20 tables are going to be full. There's going to be other servers there. It's going to be madhouse. It's going to be noisy. It's going to be crowded. Um, we get most personalized service you could ever have. Food's still delicious,
Hmm.
and we had a great time. It's a really nice way to dine out. So, boy, we're going to do it again.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm not worried about the surfaces, by the way.
You're,
To bring up a really good point.
okay. So
You,
you jumped in the pool,
yeah.
and uh, we, in our adventurous world, decided that maybe what we'll do is we'll order in from an Italian restaurant. We've had Chinese food in already
Sure.
once,
Sure.
once in about 10 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like getting 30 days to the gallon. So, which by the way, I must have put in now my third tank of gas. Um,
In
it's
3 months.
in 3 months, principally because
Was
I've been going out doing shopping in some of the mornings, and
Yeah.
it adds up after a while. But we're unfortunately, and I don't know what the status is of their operations, but there was a wonderful, as you used to live up in this neighborhood, Pepinos. Had
Yes.
several locations on the lake, and
Great little
yeah,
restaurant.
and
Yeah.
they went bankrupt. And
No.
yeah,
What a shame.
and I don't know what the status of they are. I don't know whether
That's
Chapter
a
11,
shame.
but there's
Yeah.
been another really great Italian restaurant. We know the owners. And actually, sometimes I saw them on Saturday mornings when we went to, my cousin and I went out to play backgammon, and they were there relaxing in the morning. The owners of a wonderful restaurant in Mission Viejo called Antonucci's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we know
I,
they've been open for takeout, and
yeah.
so we're thinking that maybe one of these days we're going to order in from them, but we'll use our own utensils and we won't be sitting at their tables and
Right.
so on and so forth. So I mean, I'm still concerned about how, yeah, as well-meaning as everybody is, how safe it is to the, not have things on the tables and if you have to go to the bathroom and things like that, just different surfaces. I think it's just because we don't know enough yet.
Yeah, of course, we don't know enough, but my feeling is that, particularly in a restaurant, if I wouldn't go to a restaurant that had previously gotten the Orange County Health Department D.
Are you?
All the places we go all
Are you?
had A.
That's right. You go to expensive
All right.
places.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree.
so if you go to a restaurant, the idea of plasticware is just it's stupid because restaurants have dishwashers, they put it through steaming water, they wrap it in a napkin or whatever and put it in front of you. The silverware is clean and it's disinfected. If they wipe the tabletop, that's good enough for me. I'm not worried about picking up COVID-19 on the bottom of my pants sitting in the booth. Okay. You and I are different,
Hmm.
but that's me.
Well,
I'm
that's
not worried
because
about that. I want some.
you think your pants can contract COVID-19.
Well,
Okay. Okay.
I'm not gonna get up and kiss the cushion, so I don't have to worry about that.
Anymore. And you
Any-
stopped licking doorknobs, right?
yeah,
Have you given that up? I mean, I know
exactly.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
hard for
So
you.
you and I are different. Everybody's different. You get to make your own choice.
So here's
You get to decide how cautious you want to be. That's my
So
choice.
here's a question I'd like to pose to people watching us: is after if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, shame on you.
Oh,
Okay, but we want to eliminate the shame by having you go there and subscribe to the YouTube channel celebrating Act Number Two. In fact, if you're watching this, there's a little subscribe button there. But even more, well, as important, not more important than that, as important as that, why don't you share with us things that you're doing? Are you going to the beach?
right.
Are you going to amusement parks? Are you going to be going to Disneyland? I think is opening in about another week.
And how do you feel about other people not wearing masks
Right.
if you are? If you
Irrespective of what the rules are.
correct,
Right.
correct. But I think that's the problem is most people are going to follow the rules.
Hmm.
Now, you and I are in the what do they call it? The most vulnerable group.
Or
You're over 60.
you're vulnerable. I've got a 25-year rolling plan, so
That's
yeah.
true. You're ironclad. But
Right.
we're in the vulnerable group. So
Right.
I'm going to be wearing the masks out longer than my children are.
Right. You're going to be wearing a mask until there's a widespread use of the vaccines, or if you
Not
had it,
quite that,
no.
not quite that far, but close,
Okay.
but close.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't expect other people to wear the mask. I would like it if they would,
Hmm.
particularly if you see somebody with gray hair walking towards you with a mask up.
Right.
That'd be nice. It'd be a nice courtesy, but I don't expect it to happen.
Okay. So, do you have any final words of wisdom for
My
our audience?
wisdom is do your own thing, dude.
But wear a mask, please.
Yeah, but please wear a mask for me. Wear it for
Yeah.
my sake. Yeah. And
And if you don't do it for
Art,
John's sake, do it for my sake.
as Art said, let us know. We want to know what you're doing. And subscribe. We'll see you soon.
See you.
For more on Celebrating Act Two, visit our webpage, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and tell your friends. Celebrating Act Two is the user manual for the second half of your life.